What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Movies That Make You podcast. Season 2 is in full gear, and so we are super excited for what we got going on this season. Just to let you know what that means, we still have our weekly Prepisodes where we discuss movies to watch in preparation for a new release hitting theaters. I got my buddy POPpaGoss on those each and every week. Those drop on Mondays at 6 a.m. Also, we have our Creators Conversations. This is where we're interviewing people from the business and beyond to discuss what they do to create and how they create their art. We will be releasing one of those interviews a month, so be on the lookout for that on YouTube. We're also doing our monthly watch-alongs where we pick a movie to watch. We live stream our conversation while we're watching the film on YouTube. This week, we're celebrating Black History Month. We're going to be discussing essential Black films. We've got our buddy Tommie from the Popalicious Popheads. He's going to be lining down that list for us. It's going to be a good time. We hope you also check out our website at moviesthatmakeyoupodcast.com. There you can see all of our social links. You can listen to the podcast. You can watch the podcast. We also have our merch store. You can find tons of merch for Movies That Make You and our friends. We also have a link to our letterbox where you can see all the movies that we watch in preparation for the new releases, but also the movies that make you laugh, the movies that make you cry, the movies that make you scream, and everything in between. So before we get to this week's episode, let's check out what we got coming up on the Movies That Make You podcast. Next week, we're preparing for Wuthering Heights. We're going to have Kristen on the podcast as we discuss a bunch of different tragic romance movies and the book, Wuthering Heights. The week after that, we've got a special guest on the show, the horror Green Book. Brendan's going to be discussing the movies that he finds fascinating from around the world. The week after that, we are celebrating the franchise that brought POPpaGoss and I together, Scream. We're going to be discussing all 6 prior films in preparation for Scream 7 hitting theaters that week. The week after that, we're going to be preparing for The Bride. And in order to do that, we're going to be watching a bunch of Frankenstein stories, and we're bringing our good friend back to the show, Horror Cat Dad, as we discuss these classics. Hope those episodes excite you. So without further ado, let's get to the podcast. We are back with another episode of the Movies That Make You podcast. I am Sprang, and I'm here joined by my co-host, POPpaGoss. What's up, brother?
Hello, sir.
Welcome back. And we are also welcoming back our good friend, the Popalicious Popheads himself, Tommie. What's happening, my man?
Tommie.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good,
Doing
buddy.
well, man. It was so fun having you on the live stream back in December, Christmas Eve, and the boys were just freaking out about your Pop's background. I was like, oh no, man, he's a collector, bro. They were just going nuts. They were like, Popalicious, yeah. They just loved it. Loved seeing all those Pops.
Hey, man. Hey, what more can I say, man? I love
Yeah,
them.
it's great. It's great.
And they were freaking out about your love for Megan too.
Yeah.
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Zeke. Zeke was freaking out about.
Yeah, he likes Megan, and we watched Megan and Megan 2 back in October, so he was super stoked.
Yeah,
And then
man, Megan, that's my girl. That's my girl, Megan, man. Hey,
Connor asked Kristen, like, what does he mean? Like, he's his girl? Like, what? No, like he just likes the character. Oh, okay. It's so great. It's so
My
great.
bad, man. Hey, I should have clarified that. Hey,
No, you're good. You're good.
I should have.
That's so funny.
Figured like little kids are watching this, man, so I should have like clarified that.
My girl.
Right.
That's so
what
funny.
you mean, Mom?
Kids are so funny.
Very literal.
And then of course I did my unboxing of your present that you sent me. Thank you, sir. Got
Oh, so awesome.
right here in the background. So very excited that I got that, man. I can't thank you enough. That was awesome.
You're welcome, man, so much, bro. You're so welcome, and I'm glad that you like it, man. You're so
Tommie is always giving the good gifts. He got me a couple of Pops, but he got me a Nick Castle autograph Michael Myers Pop. That thing's cool. It's on my autograph shelf back there, but you can't see it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome,
man.
Well, we are here. This episode is dropping on the February 2nd to celebrate Black History Month. We're going to talk through kind of the influential, essential Black films, and excited to hear what you got for us today, Tommie. And of course, Josh and I will pop in some of our honorable mentions as well, but super excited to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us. Before we jump into that though, we like to do a little catch up. So kind of tell us a little bit about what you got going on, Tommie.
man. Hey, man, I am finally going to get these videos done, man. I finally have enough content to where I can get this ball rolling back again, and
Nice.
get this thing started. So, man, I'm sitting here looking at these boxes sitting here next to me, and man, of course, I have my Funko Pops,
Mm-hmm.
but I have something for y'all, man. Boy, woo! I got some.
Fire.
I got something for y'all, man. That is, I'm gonna let you know, it's not a pop,
Okay.
baby. When you see this baby boy, you gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna understand why this man is excited about this here, man." So,
Awesome.
yeah, man. I'm excited for the next few weeks and the next few videos coming up, man. I'm excited to get back in the groove again, man, even though I'm sick and everything. But I'm kind of on the back end of it now. So I'm excited to get back into everything and just being with everybody again
Yeah.
and I'm just sharing with everybody and I'm just chilling out with everybody and just, being being a part of the fold. And that's pretty much one thing that I'm looking for is just looking forward to is just getting back out there again and putting out more videos again. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, like I said, I got some stuff coming and man, ooh, man,
Yeah.
I
That's exciting.
can't wait to show y'all.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. How about you, Josh? What's been going on with you?
Not too much. I've been trying to get what I can, like when I'm out and about, because by the time I get out from subbing, I usually try to walk my dogs before I have to go pick up my son from ABA. So this last couple weeks, I'm on the social media. I've been seeing people finding Walmart has the $5 DVD bins back again.
Nice.
Um, my Walmart down the street that I usually go to, I've been checking a few times. They don't have it yet, but they do have a big physical media section, so it's not too bad. Um, but yeah, I've been on the search for that, and then haven't really been collecting any collectibles the last couple months. I've been focusing more on like stuff I already have, so getting stuff framed, like autograph posters and all that. I have a video dropping in 10 minutes as we're filming this, short about a mega horror autograph grail. I showed it to Sprang last night before the stream, but I can't wait to show that off because it's awesome. So I got that finally framed, and then yeah, just kind of prepping. I've been more focused on this podcast than my normal channel, but I try to put at least a short or a long form video out once a week, just so, people can still engage with my channel. So
Yeah,
I hit a big
absolutely.
spike. And then, once I crossed 1,000, I got to 1,100 pretty quick right
Mm,
after that.
that is
Nice.
awesome, bro. For real, for real.
Yeah. Well, I was super excited. I never thought that would happen, but, it was exciting, but then because I thought I could start, making money once I hit 1,000, but you have to have like a ton of watch hours as well
Yeah,
to
Gotcha.
start to click that. And
yeah.
I'm still kind of far from that. I'm getting a lot of views still, but like it's not. My shorts do really well. My long form, I haven't been doing as many recently, unless they're like important. But those just unless it's like a hunt, like a box lunch or Target or whatever, they don't really nobody even like my convention videos don't really get a lot of views, but I have the most fun making those ones because they
Mm-hmm.
have more cool stuff that I actually like. So it's
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, just trying to put at least one video out a week if I can. But yeah, my main focus has been the podcast. I'm trying to get guests to come on for our creator conversation. So I've been networking on social media and emails like crazy, just trying to get some people. We got some cool people coming on pretty soon, so that's exciting. But yeah, other than that, just staying warm and watching movies as much as I can at night, late at night.
Yeah.
So no sleep.
No sleep till Brooklyn, right?
No sleep till Brooklyn.
Awesome, man. No, I appreciate all the work you're putting in and helping out with the podcast. That's for sure, man.
Oh, it's fun, man. I love it.
We're having some fun, like, and that's kind of what I was going to say. This, like, I'm just having a lot of fun looking ahead at what we've got coming out. We've got so many great guests. We've got so many great friends that are coming on over the next few weeks, and kind of kicking it off here with Tommie. Excited to have you back on the show, man, for real, and to talk about these movies. So,
man.
Yeah, I always love
absolutely.
having
For having
Tommie
me.
on.
Yeah, and we'll get you on a
Thank you,
live
man.
stream sometime too when you have a work schedule where you actually can kind of get some rest before, and you don't feel like you got to stay up all night again.
Yeah.
I don't want you to.
Bro, I don't mind staying up. Just let me know, like, when y'all would like me to be on, because
Mhm.
like on those days I can just take me a
Take
nap
a nap or
during the
whatever. Yeah,
day
yeah.
and then wake up, do the live stream, and then go right on back to sleep after a little while or something like that.
Well, I think I don't know. So we got 2 coming up that are kind of big.
Mhm.
Well, actually 3. We'll see. So we got in April, we've got Godzilla for the 70th
Oh,
anniversary.
ooh,
In
70.
Nice.
in May, we've got 2 scheduled. Top Gun for the 40th anniversary.
Ooh.
And then we're going to do Scream watch along on the 19th, which is a Tuesday before Frightmare. So that might not work with your schedule because if you're working or whatever. So, but I'll send you those dates and see if any of those hit, because I don't know if they're on the weekend or whatever. I just tried to, I schedule the live streams based on the day that the release happened. And so depending on when that happened, it might be in the middle of the week. But I'll send you those to see if any of those hit. And then, of course, I can send you the rest and just see if any of them even pop off as being like, oh, I definitely want to be on that one, and then we'll see if we can make it work. But
Okay.
yeah, lots of good live streams coming up. Excited for that, and we've got some fun interviews. Actually, Oscars month in March, we're looking to have Alex Armbruster. POPpaGoss, tell him a little bit about who Alex is.
Yeah, so Alex, he's been on a few of. Actually, he was on one of my buddies who lives in Nashville. He was on his podcast, and he's real easy to get a hold of. I had talked to him on Instagram, but he's a stunt actor. He's like a martial artist. He does just regular stunt work. Most notably, though, as like an actual character. You don't see his face or anything, but he is the main actor who physically was John Carver in Thanksgiving, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, which is really awesome because I love that movie. But yeah, super nice guy. I've been talking to him the last couple months, and we finally pinned down a date in a couple weeks, so we're gonna record that. It'll probably come out in March though. But he's been in so much. I mean, he was in the new Del Toro Frankenstein as a stunt performer. He was in Suicide Squad. He's done a bunch of like comic book movie stunt work. I think he did a couple Marvel movies. But yeah, he's got a huge resume and he's been doing it for a long time. He as a Canadian, he lives up in Canada, but super awesome. I'm super stoked to that he said yes, and he's going to be on, so that'll be perfect timing since Frankenstein just got 9 nominations at the Oscars. So I actually just watched it on Netflix, not last night, but the night before, and it's pretty good. It's a very beautiful take on the old story, and I know Del Toro, that franchise, well, that character means so much to him. That's what got him into filmmaking in the first place. So for him to finally get his chance to do his version of Frankenstein is really cool, and the cast is phenomenal, and I'm just so happy it got any nominations, but 9's pretty big. It's not Sinners big, but that's pretty good. 9 nominations. So
And Tommie, you
but
watched
yeah, we're
that
gonna have
last
him
night.
on.
You watched that last night, right, Tommie?
No,
Frankenstein, or this recently?
I watched it 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
gotcha.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago was, when I watched it, man, and I thought it was just gorgeous. It was just
Oh yeah,
one
beautiful. It's
one of the
beautifully
one
shot.
of the best films I have, honestly, and I'm not BSing y'all, one of the best films I've ever seen in my life.
Oh wow, yeah. No, it's.
The best film.
I
Yeah,
was telling
it's great.
Spring I need to go rewatch the ending again because it was real late when I finished it, and I was on checking emails at the end too, which I shouldn't have been doing. I should have been paying attention, but
Yes, you have to pay
just
attention.
so much like it just has so much like poetry. Like I know, Mary Shelley's book that it's based off of. Um, like we got the Kenneth Branagh version, which we're gonna uh talk about to prep for The Bride. We're gonna talk about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and that one, and Del Toro's Frankenstein, but all the different iterations that have been done. Like this one was one that felt like the version of the book that like came onto the screen because of just like the poetic dialogue and the and like you said, I mean, like just how beautifully it's shot, and we were immersed in this, world that it was like from the page to the screen. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
obviously Del Toro put his little takes on different things, like how he looked and stuff. But I think that honestly, I think that was a little bit more accurate to the book, like, having long hair and all
It
that.
was
Like I like
smooth,
having the
man.
different body parts. Like they didn't really dive that much into that, even in like the OG Frankenstein. So for him to get his chance to do his version and like do it as much justice as everybody else wanted to that loves that character, I thought was really cool. So I can't wait to talk about that on the
Mhm.
Frankenstein podcast.
And I can't wait to watch y'all do that, because that one right there, man, that was one of my favorite movies now, because that when I watched, I was like, man, damn,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
they crushed that movie.
When
yeah.
I think I saw a clip on social media, Alex put together like a reel of like some stuff that he was in for scenes, and the Frankenstein one popped up, and I think he was the stunt. I think he was like the actual like Jacob Elordi's like stunt. He did like a couple of the fighting sequences and cool stuff. But I mean, I can't wait to talk to him about, what it was like being on a Del Toro set. I mean, he's been on some awesome sets, but like to be on a Del Toro set and it's Frankenstein and it's like
It's so
has such
crazy
a
because
lineage.
I think Del Toro is one of those directors where he isn't as like mainstream as like a Marvel, but he's also not as like as kind of like in crowd as like a Nolan or something. But
Right.
he's an auteur director that tells beautiful stories with an edge, with a little flair that's a little bit in that genre space, right? And so it's just kind of like he hits a chord with so many people because of he's got the beauty and the kind of the edge, the rawness
Right.
to to the subject matter. I know one of the movies that Kristen and I loved when we watched it was Shape of Water. It was just
Oh, I
like
love it. Yeah.
just a beautiful love story that is out of nowhere. It's so weird by common,
Right.
people's terms,
Yeah.
but man, it was so beautifully done. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
it's
check that out.
he won best picture for that one. Actually, I have that's what autograph I have. I have his autograph on a poster for Shape of Water, and then I got Doug Jones to sign
Mhm.
it when I met him because
Yeah.
he played the creature. And yeah, that's a beautiful film. I mean, I even like I know the movie overall people didn't really, they didn't hate it, but like they didn't love it as much as his other ones. But because of how beautiful it is, um, his movie Crimson Peak,
I was just
like
I was
that
thinking you were gonna
movie
say that one,
is
yeah.
talk about he's just so good at like his gothic horror stylings. Even in Shape of Water, like there's a
Mhm.
lot of the cinematography. He has a great cinematographer, but it's just like he does gothic horror and like that dark setting. He does it so well. Even like Nightmare Alley, it's not his strongest film, but like that has a lot of really awesome shots in it as well. And Nightmare Alley, Crimson, those are all well, Crimson Peak's part of Arrow Video. But Nightmare
Okay.
Alley is on Criterion Collection now. So yeah, he's just an important filmmaker, and he's well respected too, which is cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You
Awesome.
said you have his autograph too?
yeah, so I found a 11 by 17 Shape of Water poster. It was like 2 weeks before Frightmare, not last year, but the year before, and because Doug Jones was going to be there, and I love Doug Jones. He's one of the first time I've met a lot of celebrities. Doug Jones was like one of the first times I got like actually starstruck. He's just such a nice human being too. But and he's also in the movie that I'm an extra in. I got to set
Nice.
and they had a fake convention set up for the movie, and he plays himself in the movie. And his banner, I worked as a staff member for the convention, and so my table was like 2 tables down, and then I looked. They were filming another shot over, but past where I was, and I saw the banner and it said Doug Jones and it had his picture, and I was like, Doug Jones is in this movie. This is so
That's
freaking
amazing.
cool. So yeah, Ron Perlman's in it, and Julie Benz from Dexter. I
Dang,
have
it's kind of a little bit of a Hellboy reunion
Hellboy.
there.
Yeah. So, well, and then I forgot to tell you the director, Michael Zara. He he just followed me on Instagram because I posted they're trying to raise a little bit of money to finish the movie finally. So they got to do some editing and stuff. But I might hit him up to see if because the movie's probably going to come out. They haven't announced a release date yet, but I would imagine if they still have to do some post production, maybe they're gonna just save it for like October, maybe. But yeah, maybe we can get him on right before the movie comes out. But yeah, I'm friends with him now. I didn't get to meet him on set. I actually didn't know he was the director. Because the guy who was on the big camera they had was like a British guy, and I thought he was because he's the one that kept shouting out stuff during the scenes. And then I come to find out way after I'd filmed that Michael was actually the director,
Nice.
which is cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait. I think if they put what I was in, the 2 things like I'm in a couple scenes with Julie Benz, which is pretty cool. So Julie Benz from Dexter. So
Yeah.
Can't wait
That's
to see
awesome.
this.
I know, man.
Yeah.
I'm
It'll be
hoping
awesome.
because there was 2 shots that they did, and they filmed them over and over, and like one of them was my table when she walks in the convention, and they filmed it like 6 times, and I was with another actor, and then she walks right in front of my table every take, like talking in the scene, and they had the camera like right above my head, like in the corner.
Did
So
you wear
I
your
was like,
POPpaGoss hat?
oh man, well, I tried.
I said I couldn't let you.
They didn't even let me wear my. I brought. They told you to bring like a few different outfits, and so I was like, okay. So I brought like I didn't know what to wear. I was like, okay, whatever. So I bring some outfits, and then I go in the bathroom and I put like fake paint, like washable paint to look like fake blood. I put that on in the bathroom. Come back in the waiting room, and then one of the people that work for the producers and stuff came around the room, and he was like, hey, he's like, he's like, is that washable? And I was like, yeah, it is. He's like, can you wash that off, and then can you put this shirt on? So they gave me a shirt and it's so Michael has worked on this movie for like 15 years, and it's based off of a fake horror movie called I forget what it's called, but there's a really cool, the killer has like a pig mask, and it's really awesome. And so they gave
Nice.
me this shirt that had the actual killer design on it. And so I went in the bathroom, put that on, and I took a picture real quick. And then I came back out, and they were like, hey, you're going to be a staff member, so can you go put this shirt on? So I had to put a horrified staff member shirt on. And of
Yeah.
course, I didn't get to keep anything, but I was just happy to be there. I mean, it was a long shoot. We waited for 5 hours in the waiting room, and then we got to set, and then we shot for almost 6 hours. So I was there like almost 12 hours, and then I had to drive 2.5 hours back to my house because it was up past Tulsa. So
it's crazy. That's
But
crazy.
you're in the movie.
but I can't wait for you guys to see it. So.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Hey, one thing, man, just don't leave the little people when you like get them your Hollywood star and stuff like that.
No.
Don't forget about us, man.
Yeah.
Nah, if anything, if I got I probably wouldn't be an act, but like a producer or like an AD or whatever, that'd be fun. Or just,
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, you could pay me just to like work on stuff just to behind the scene. I don't care. I just want to be on
Yeah.
set. But yeah, I'll bring
Yeah.
you guys all along with me. We can all work
Sounds
together.
good.
Hey,
Cool, man. Well, let's jump into it. Like I said at the start, we're doing our Prepisode for Black History Month. Tommie's going to be sharing some films with us, and so I'm just going to give it over to you, Tommie. Let's hear what you got.
Okay, man. We are gonna talk about like some of the movies that like have influenced me, and some of these movies may not be some of these like really super old movies and things like that, but they're movies that I think really talk about the Black experience, and movies that'll really illustrate different things that I think, one, if you ask a question like, well, okay, what happened with Martin Luther King, that'll give me a accurate de- description that'll be on in a film, and I'm not just in like maybe some YouTube documentary. Somebody maybe want to look at something for more entertainment purposes as opposed to educational. So they may want to see a movie. So the first movie that I picked that I think really has a lot of influence is mainly because who the movie talks about, and that is the movie Selma, with that is about the movie about Martin Luther King that came out in 2014 when he was doing when he was trying to get everything organized to have the march from Selma to the capital, Montgomery, so they can have voter registration rights for African Americans who were not given any voter registration rights whatsoever, even though they legally could actually go register to vote, but the people, the registrators, would not allow them to actually go in there and make the registration, because they would get on every registration, they would come up with some crazy question that like I don't think Socrates could have answered and stuff like that. And they're trying to give these different crazy questions to these people, and they're trying to just simply get the simple, basic human right, and that is to vote. I mean, I mean, do you know how many people today don't even care about even if they vote one time? And I'm like, you had people like literally dying, and I'm not just talking about African Americans just dying. I'm talking about during the marches that Martin Luther King organized. This movie was directed by Ava DuVernay, and she was the first African American female to have her movie nominated for an Oscar. So this movie was like really powerful. And the gentleman that played MLK, what is his name? And I have it written down here.
David
Yeah,
Oyelowo.
yeah, there it is. David, yeah, man, and the por- por- portrayal that he did of MLK is, I really love how Ava showed not only MLK as the shining star MLK that we know of him to be, but it does show the more controversial MLK, because when the FBI had gotten involved in investigating when J. Edgar Hoover gotten involved with wiretapping his house. And he ultimately found out that, MLK, wasn't really doing, everything is kosher as he should have been. And he had like some outside indiscretions outside of the family that cast a bad light on him with a whole lot of people. Like, you're supposed to be doing all of this. How are we supposed to listen to you? And we got proof that you're out here doing it because it's on tape. So he not only had to deal with this drama, and so he had to also deal with just the drama of just trying to just organize all these people so they can get together and try to vote. And he was trying to do this with different feature activists like Andrew Young and people like that, and John Lewis and people like that. And it's like, just wow, how did like one man take all that? Could you imagine all that pressure just being on your shoulder and just being like, okay, this is mainly on me. So like when he was doing this march, man, people were literally out there getting beat up. People were literally getting shot at. People were literally losing their lives. People would have baseball bats with barbed wire wrapped around it, beating people, women, children. Didn't matter who it was, white people. If you were white and you were out there with those black people, they were beating you down too. So like it was definitely nothing nice for anybody out there. And this movie is so important because it puts it right in your face. That's what I really love about it, is because it puts it right in your face of what was going on. And it lets you know, like, man, hey, this really happened. Even though like people want to like take certain things, I feel, out of American history and stuff like that. They want to take out some of the ugliness that is American history, but you can't take out the ugliness that is that is American history and look at what we have today, because even today we still have some ugliness today. Cause I had some ugliness happen to me at work the other day that I'm not gonna sit here and talk about, but I had some ugliness happen on the job the other day. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, we're in 2026 and it's ugly, and this ugliness still going on. And I told my dad about this. My dad is 75. And my mom and pop was like, I can't believe you actually had to hear that come from out of somebody's mouth on one of our military bases. I can't believe you had to hear that on your job. I was like, me neither, Pop. And I was almost in tears because he was almost in tears because he was like, after everything I went through when I was younger, to go through with civil rights and to go through, and I say that because MLK was fighting so hard for civil rights, and even today it's like we really have come a long way, but damn, like how far have we really have come? Cause like just the other day, man, I had something happen, and it's really messed up, man. It's really messed up, man. It's really foul that something really like that could like happen these days. And this movie, like I said, man, is really pivotal, and I really like how it showed the 1965 Alabama voting rights act, trying to get everybody registered to vote. And that's like my number one first movie that I have to talk about would be Selma. So I don't know if I want to share anything from that or.
Yeah, absolutely. I just, you said a lot, man, and it is heartbreaking that we are in 2026 and still dealing with some of this stuff. Like any of this stuff. None of it should be happening still. And that just breaks my heart, man. And I think one of the things that Ava did in this movie was highlighted the fact that this stuff was happening all the time, but nobody believed it. And it was MLK going down there after the bombing of the church and the 3 black girls that were killed. It was like him thank you. They were killed. And so he went down there to shine a light on the reality of what these people were facing, because nobody would believe it. And him going there brought notoriety or brought visibility to it, because then newspapers and television stations started going down there, and then they were showing this on the news for the first time. And that's when the rest of America realized, oh my goodness, this is really happening. And then they started coming down, as you were saying, people that were not of color were coming down to support this march and support these rights. And they started standing together, and then journeying. And they tried it the one time, and then they had to back off because of the violence. And then news crews were there, and then they were able to cross. It culminates with President Lyndon Johnson finally signing the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And I think it does a really interesting job too of portraying that character, because while he signed that bill, he was very frustrated with what Martin was doing. He's like, we just did this. Can you just be quiet? Can you just kind of like, I'm trying to run a country here. I can't keep dealing with you guys, And so I thought it was really powerful the way that they displayed that it was not really his will to do this, not because he didn't want them to have votes, but he was like tired of dealing with the issues. And he didn't want to go against the other people that were in charge. He didn't want to overstep. He didn't want the president to overstep the local government, because of trying to build that hierarchy and that. And so it's very, very, I thought it did a really good job of highlighting that in the film. So you kind of see all the sides, like you said, you see all the sides of MLK. But at the end of the day, what he stood for and what he accomplished through bringing people together did make an impact in 1965 that we're still seeing the remnants of. We're still seeing the journey of the civil rights movement because of this event. While we may have come a long way, it's times like these where we recognize we still have a long way to go. And it's hopefully we'll get there within our lifetime, because it's so terrible what people are still facing, and that what you're still facing, Tommie. I can't imagine. So thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, thanks, Tommie.
Not a problem, man. Not a problem, man. I
appreciate one last thing I did want to, sorry, one of the things I did want to mention was, this was actually one of the first movies on the podcast that we did on the podcast with the boys 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, we picked this one up because I saw a chance or opportunity for the podcast to be important conversations with the boys, not just fun conversations with the boys. And I wanted to take the opportunity to have that conversation. So we do have that still up on the podcast. It's 2 years ago. It's me and Kristen talking to boys about Selma. We watched the movie, and then we had a conversation about racism and about America, and trying to make sure that we instill in our boys that they understand that this is not right, and that we have to be people that stand with our friends and with people of color, be their voice when they aren't being heard. We be the ones that say it, so that their needs and desires can be made known. So yeah, so that's up there. But yeah, it's great movie, incredible movie. So thankful for hearing how it impacted you. And yeah, awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Definitely gonna have to check out that what you were talking about with you and Kristen.
Yeah, cool. What's next?
What's next is 12 Years a Slave.
Ooh.
And people don't know about that one. That is a movie about free a free man who was actually lied to and was kidnapped and was taken down to Georgia and was sold into slavery. Well, 12 Years a Slave came out in 2013. It is a story of Solomon Northup is his name. And he is from Saratoga Springs, New York. And like I said, he was a free man. He was married, had a wife. He was a violinist. And that's what got a lot of people's attention about him was he could really play that violin. And in the movie, it shows this so well when he was a free man, and even when he was even captive, they even have him playing that violin. And it is really some of that down home bluegrass violin playing that a lot of people would love to play. I would love to know how to play something like that because I used to play the violin back in the day in school and stuff like that. So I would learn how to just pick his brain and learn how to play something like that. That would be really cool to pick up about Solomon. But yeah,
Yeah.
Solomon was played by, I know that I'm gonna butcher his name, but it is Chiwetel Ejiofor. Hope
Yep.
I didn't butcher it too much. Did I butcher it, fellas?
No, I think you were good. Chiwetel Ejiofor. Yeah, you were there.
Ejiofor. All right. So but I love his acting. You were feeling what he was feeling. Like I said, he was a free man, right? And he was asked to go to Washington, D.C. with these two guys. And he agreed to go to Washington, D.C. because he was thinking that it was going to be a job for him playing his violin down there in Washington, D.C. at a carnival. So when he went down there, he was expecting to have a job. So he thought that he was going to be doing something similar to what he was doing up in New York. So when he went to D.C., when he was down in DC in the movie shows this. And when I was sitting there watching the movie, I was like, this is not good. I remember when I first watched it and I remember when I rewatched it. I was like, this is not good. Everybody was sitting at the table. It was him and the two gentlemen who were supposed to be like the carnival, managers or whoever they were supposed to be that were organizing him to go down to Washington, D.C. to play the violin. And if you notice in the movie, when they were drinking that wine, they kept on filling his cup up all the way to the brim. And when they were filling their cup up, they were barely putting anything in there. And for Solomon's character, he just kept on drinking like, everything was
Yeah.
good. So,
Yeah.
like everybody's partying, I'm about to make me some more money. So let the drinks flow and everything's gonna be good. But ultimately he got really super sick and stuff like that right outside of the venue and ultimately passed out. And when he woke up, what did he wake up to? He woke up to being in a room, shackled up, hands, shackled up, feet. So he's sitting here trying to break loose and everything. Don't know what's going on. And what is really funny is the people that kidnapped him. One of them came back down there and was checking his chains and stuff like that. And Solomon was just sitting there like screaming, like what, what are you doing? I'm a free man. What are you doing to me? And dude really didn't say nothing. Really didn't care about what was going on with dude, because you figure ultimately he's already been paid for what he's been paid to do. So why would he even show any care or compassion for this person who's he's already sold and don't care nothing about anybody? And it was really unfortunate when Solomon actually understood what was happening to him when the other dude walked out and this other man came in and he asked him a question. Are you a slave? Was the question that he asked him. And he was like, no, I'm a free man. And this man took a paddle, this big long paddle. This paddle had to be, I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3 feet long, a long wooden paddle. Just and put Solomon on his hands and knees like a dog. Put him on his hands and knees. And when he did that, he took that paddle and was beating this man across his back like he was just beating just something lower than an animal. It just didn't make sense how he was just beating this man and just having to view it in the movie. Like just seeing it in the movie is something different. Can you imagine having to actually go through something like that or seeing something like that in real life? Or actually, if you was out there in one of them barns and listening to somebody out there getting beat like that, because you know what's going on out there. And just when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, how? And it was just a merciless beating. I mean, he beat him so bad with that thing that it broke. And when that thing broke, he got a whip and just kept on beating this man. I mean, this is his introduction into being a slave. This is his first day being a slave when that man asked him, are you a slave? And this is his introduction like, oh yes, you a slave today. Your name is Platt from Georgia. You are not Solomon Northup from New York. You know what I'm saying? You are Platt from Georgia. You are just your basic slave. I don't care what you think you are. This is what you are right now.
Yeah.
After he got whipped up and everything and stuff like that, he didn't have nothing else to do but to fall in line. So that's what he did for 12 years of his life. He was sold into a free man. Can you imagine being free and being sold into slavery for 12 years of your life being sold? And this man was sold not once, he was sold like three
times,
or something like that with different slave owners. And it seemed like the slave owners got worse when like the years went on. The slave owners got worse because his first slave owner, he was like pretty kind to his slaves. You know, he tried to like preach the Bible and things to him. He took care of them and things like that. But then he ultimately, he didn't have enough money. He couldn't keep the slaves and stuff like that, so he had to sell out the slave. Then the next slave owner that he ran into was nothing like him. He was a vicious. He was another vicious slave owner.
I think the first one might have been Brad Pitt and then Michael Fassbender, because I know Michael Fassbender played the really bad. I believe Michael Fassbender played the bad.
Yeah, Fassbender played the really bad one, but Brad Pitt played Samuel.
Okay,
that was the guy who helped Solomon get his letters to the people in New York to show that he was a free man.
Got it. Yeah.
That because he was the first one that Solomon told his story to, that actually listened to him and actually believed his story, was Brad Pitt's character. So yeah, that man, wouldn't it be crazy to be a slave for all these years and you don't trust anybody to tell your story because you done been through all of these things? And Fassbender, like you mentioned, Sprang, in the movie, y'all, like please watch like these movies. If you have watched them, and even if you haven't watched them, please give these movies a look, man, because like it'll really like give you some perspective on the Black experience that'll give you like a really true and real perspective on like what really happened with these Black people in slavery. What really happened to this man who was free and who was taken and who pretty much didn't know whether he was gonna live or die. The way that he was getting beaten and getting hung and barely being able to hold his tippy toes on the ground and just seeing all of the whip marks up across his back and his chest and his back and just everywhere, and just the way they depicted the action of everything like that and the brutality of it. Like, if you can capture that in a film, like what was it like in real life? If that's what it looks like on TV to us, like what did it really, really, really look and sound like when it really happened? Because it almost has you in tears and stuff like that when you see it. So what does it really, really look, and what does it really, really feel like if that's what it was, that's what was going on? And ultimately, when Samuel was finally let free in January of 1853, because all this stuff started in 1841, y'all. He was stolen in 1841, and he was not returned home until 1853. He had to endure that hell from 3 different slave owners. One was good. Even though he was a slave, he was a pretty decent slave owner. But the next 2, they just got one was vicious and the other one was more vicious. And it was awful until that man got Brad Pitt's character, Samuel, who was a carpenter who I believe was from Canada. And he came down to help Michael Fassbender's character, help him build the house that he was trying to build, because Samuel, I guess he wanted him to build the shingles and the boards and flat lines. And Samuel, being educated, tried to show him a different way, and he wasn't having that. So he took a beating and everything for that, because he got a little mouthy and stuff with him and stuff like that. So he took a beating, and actually took a few beatings, to be honest with you, about building this structure. And Brad Pitt's character came down, and he came down and he was helping Samuel build the structure, and they got to talking and everything like that. And Samuel was telling him about his story about being stolen from New York. And ultimately, it was Brad Pitt's character, Samuel, who got the word up to a lawyer in New York and his family, and his lawyer friend up in New York, who just happened to have the name Northup. I think it was Henry J. Northup. And he was the attorney who came down from New York to Georgia, or New Orleans, to let the people know that this is signed paperwork from the governor of New York that Solomon Northup is a free man. Release him right now. And that's exactly what happened. It was because of Brad Pitt believing Brad Pitt's character, Samuel, believing what he said and taking a risk. Because can you imagine a Caucasian man, a white man, taking a risk like that in 1853
Right.
to help a black man get free from slavery when almost every white man in America wants nothing but for this man to be a slave for the rest of his life. So it was really crazy how this man spent 12 hellish years being a slave from being free. Like I was thinking, like, could I imagine living most of my life being free and then somebody snatching me up and then beat me half to death and making me say my name is this and that and where I'm from is from here and not from there, and thinking about what my family's doing. Are they gonna just move on without me? Cause like they don't know what happened to me. They His wife just knew that he left and I went with some people to go down to DC to do some violin playing with the carnival. So she could have thought it's not like today when we all got cell phone leashes everywhere and everybody's in super contact. So if something happens back then, they 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 really didn't have mail and stuff like that. It really took a long time for mail to get from DC to New York. So it was nuts, man. That movie was nuts, and that one is one of the reasons, or that one is the reason why I have this one in in the um top ones, man. Because like anybody who can go through something like this and when it's all said and done can write a book about it and have the book be a bestseller and different things like that, and the movies based on the book. And this thing is just like, wow, dude, are you really serious? Like, this is really based on what this man actually said what happened to him. And I don't believe this man is gonna sit here and gonna be telling those tall tales about what happened to him during that 12-year span of his life. I really believe he's gonna be pinpoint accurate with exactly what happened. And I believe that movie I believe they probably took that movie, that director and the producers and everybody and the cinematographers. I believe they probably did everything they could to bring that book and make it be true to life. Because if they didn't, it would be doing a real disservice to that book. And I don't think that they would do something like that to that book because of how important that story is, because a lot of people do not know who Solomon Northup is. I had no idea who Solomon Northup was until 12 Years a Slave even came out. And really, part of me is ashamed to even say that because it's so much history that even I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That even I need to even still learn about and stuff like that, about history. If I need to know about it, and I'm 53 years old, it's other people who need to learn about this history because this history cannot be forgotten. It can't be forgotten. Because if we forget about any of this stuff that has done happen in our lives and things like that, if they say if you forget it, you bound to repeat it. So we most certainly cannot do anything like that. Because like you said, we've come really far, but man, we don't need to go back to anything that looks anything like the way that it was in 1841 to 1853 when he was set free. But even though he was set free in 1853, down south, things wasn't going right in no 1853 in America. And we all know what was going on in 1853 in America. And it wasn't anything good. Maybe up north they had it good, but down south it wasn't. And Mr. Northup, he got a dose of what it was to live up north and have that nice life where you were free and you didn't have to look over your shoulder every day to see if somebody was coming up behind you to see if you got some paper or something like that to see, or actually not even to see if you got some paper, because if you a black dude down south, if somebody wanted to snatch you up, they can just snatch you up without you having any paper at all, just because they want to snatch you up. So it's not like they had the same rules like up in New York. And this movie shows you that too, because up north, you ain't getting snatched up like that because you got your paperwork and everything like that. So down south, they don't care if you have paperwork. They'll take that paperwork and burn it up and snatch you up like they probably did so many other people. And this is what you get. And Mr. Northup, he had this happen in the nation's capital, where that was a free state. You were free there. And he got drunk and kidnapped in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where the president lives. You understand me? The president lives in Washington, D.C. That's where he gets kidnapped from. And that's where his whole ordeal starts, in Washington, D.C. Come on now. And that's why that movie had to be on the list.
Absolutely, man. Josh, you have any thoughts on 12 Years a Slave?
Yeah, I mean, super powerful movie, obviously. And I think more importantly, the creative like group that worked on that film. I think Steve McQueen is a very pivotal filmmaker for not just Hollywood in general, but like obviously the African American community. His movies are real; they're really raw. He's not afraid to do what he does. If you look at all his filmography, I mean, he's done some like very intense work. He works with Fassbender a lot, which I love Michael Fassbender as an actor. But I mean, even one of the producers on 12 Years a Slave was Brad Pitt. So I mean, you have like pretty big name people who felt that this was a very important story to tell. But I think out of all of it, the message and the true history of it is very important, obviously. But I think Steve McQueen being the one to take a swing at this was even more of a bold move, I should say, at the time. Because he is not afraid to take risks with his films, and I just think he did a fantastic job. I mean, I know it's very intense. A lot of the movie it also introduced us to Lupita Nyong'o, who I think is a fantastic actress. She, of course, went on to win an Oscar for that film, and she, took over Hollywood as a leading African American actress from that movie as well. So a lot of positives for a very dark subject matter, and important subject matter in our history. So I think that's a great choice. I mean, I was going to have that on my list if I had a list to make. So I'm glad you talked about that movie, because it's a very powerful film.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things that kind of like Selma, where it's giving you this little snapshot of history of where we've been. And like you said, Tommie, if we don't remember our history, we're doomed to repeat it. And so these two films in particular are great snapshots for us, especially for those of us that haven't experienced any of what you've experienced, even to be able to show us why it's so important that we fight for civil rights, and ensure that we don't let this type of treatment of people of color go on any longer. So but it gives you this gives you like that origin, like this gives you a true history of what this person went through, a true account, first-hand account of what went on back then, so that we can't put our blinders on and say it wasn't that bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just watch this movie. It was bad. It was
Yeah.
bad. And so that's what that's one of the reasons why we love film, because it highlights these pieces of history for us so that we can hopefully be reminded of that, so that we don't let it continue. We know the history and the backstory to know why it's so important to fight today. So thank you, Tommie, for sharing that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Good, great one.
Cool. Anxious to hear what you got coming up next.
The
Those are
next
two
one-
heavy hitters, man.
All
Two heavy
right.
hitters already.
All right. The next one, we're gonna shift a little bit, y'all. We're gonna shift a little bit. The next one I got for y'all is Basquiat.
Okay.
Okay. You seen that movie, either one of y'all?
I have not seen it.
You not
I
seen it?
know of it, but I haven't
Josh,
seen it yet.
have you seen it, Josh?
About the artist.
Yes.
I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen like clips from the movie. Yeah, I know it's a pretty solid movie.
Okay. Let me tell you.
I like it.
Stars Jeffrey Wright, right? Jeffrey Wright plays Basquiat, right? And Basquiat, let me give you a little background. He was an artist up in New York, up in Brooklyn, okay, in the 80s. And he was a neo-expressionist man. And this dude, his art, man, he Jean-Michel, his name is Jean-Michel Basquiat. If you want to look him up, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Jean Michel Basquiat. Now, this dude was an artist. Now, back in the day, he was an artist in the 80s doing graffiti. And him and his partner, I don't remember his name, but his partner, him and his partner used to go tagging, and their tagline was Selma. And they would go tagging everywhere in New York. That's how you would know that it was them doing the art, because they would always tag it Selma. And anywhere they went was Selma. So they would do all this bomb art, all this bomb artwork, and tag it Selma all over New York, right? And Jean-Michel Basquiat, he stopped really doing the graffiti so much and started putting his artwork on canvas. And like, even though he started putting his artwork on canvas, he really was, he was like a struggling artist up in New York, because in all honesty, Jean-Michel Basquiat, he was homeless at the time when he got started. He was living outside of a box, like literally legit living in a box. You know what I'm saying? And that was when he was out there tagging, and he would like sleep on his friends like couch and stuff like that every now and again and stuff like that. And ben- Benicio del Toro, he's in it, and he's Jean-Michel Basquiat's like buddy and stuff like that. So like when you see him doing something, he has him with him in the movie, like his sidekick in the movie, right? And Basquiat, he starts to get noticed, and one day he got he notices David Bowie in a restaurant, and he had these little cards that he had drew on. It was like these little like 4x6 like type of cards that he had drew all these pictures on. And it was David Bowie's character was Andy Warhol, and it was Andy Warhol and two other guys sitting at this table, and Jean-Michel Basquiat had went up to Andy Warhol and started to show him these these um these art pieces that he did, and Andy Warhol get to looking at the at his art, And he's like, you did these and stuff like this and stuff like that, looking like he actually found him like a gem. Like, you're the one that did this.
Hmm.
Okay, so what are you gonna charge me for on this and stuff like that? So Andy Warhol like has in his head, like if you notice that moment in the beginning, if you have Andy Warhol looking at your stuff like that, you know something must be going on. So you got Andy Warhol and these other guys, and the other two guys that were there with Andy Warhol, they're like, no way, Andy, no way, Andy, you can't have your pick of everything. We want this one and we want that one. So Jean-Michel Basquiat is sitting here looking at these guys like, oh, okay, so something good must be going on. So ultimately, these guys helped Basquiat get into this studio. And Jean-Michel Basquiat, he starts to like sleep in the studio. And like that's where he does really his work at, is from this studio space. And Jean-Michel Basquiat, man, he messes around and he meets his main girl is a girl named Gina in the movie. That's his main love interest in the movie. And she's the one that like, she's another struggling artist, but she works as a waitress in a diner. And she's like a struggling artist, but he also meets a girl named Big Pink. And everybody says that everybody says that she's supposed to be Madonna, but it's not said nowhere that it's
Oh, I got
her.
you.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
everybody said, since it's just like they refer to her as Big Pink, that they say that it's Madonna. So man, and it talks about that whole situation with Basquiat and his love life, and you got him dealing with his love life, and he's trying to he's being this artist, and then all of a sudden he's making this art, and his art is just like, people are really starting to feel his art in the New York art scene, and they're like, yo, who is this artist Basquiat? And everybody and Warhol starts to buy his, like, legit, even though they're friends, starts to actually buy his stuff and actually make sure he has procured him some Basquiat paintings that he can have in his own collection, that he probably knows is one day is going to make some money. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't only Warhol that was doing these things. He was having these open houses at these auction houses and stuff like that, and his stuff was selling out. Everything was selling out from his auction houses and everything like that. And unfortunately, with everything that this man has done, he has had a troubled life. Like, all throughout his life has not been good. Since he was a young child, he's had issues with his parents. He's had issues growing up. He's had different struggles that a lot of people have gone through, that have broken a whole lot of people. And I think his art actually reflects, like, if you really look at some of his pieces and some of his art, you can see some of the pain that he's actually been through and stuff like that. Because, like, one prime example, if you look at it, it's a painting called The Skull. And it's a picture of a skull, abstract skull from the side view. It's a profile view of a skull. And I won't say
Mm.
it looks weird or anything like that, but it does have a dark tone to it. And that is one of his more favorite paintings. I forget how much it sold for, or if it's in an auction house, but the last time I personally checked, it was years ago, and it was at a museum in California. I don't remember the museum, but
I
it
just
may
looked
have
it up. It's the Broad Museum in
Yeah.
Los Angeles. It's still there.
Oh,
Yeah.
still there? All right.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a beautiful painting. I would love to if 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 I had like the millions of dollars and
Yeah.
could afford that baby and could be like,
Right.
hey, I want that painting. I don't care how much it costs. Give it to me. If I had that
Mhm.
type of money.
I think it did sell in August of last year.
Okay.
Did it
Not
sell?
let's see. Well, this one, it looks just like that same painting, but this one says it's called this one says it's an untitled painting, but it looks just like the skull painting. But yeah, this
I think
one
that's the same
sold
one. I think that's the same one because
yeah,
Jean-Michel didn't
let's see.
title it.
Yeah, untitled painting from 1982 made auction history. This was in August of 2025, selling for $98 million, with fees $110.5 million. Major
Wow.
contemporary art sale. Not only cements Basquiat's status as one of the most valuable artists of all time, but reveals a crucial lesson for collectors. Life-changing returns of identifying genius early and the irreplaceable role of a skilled fine art advisor in making it happen.
Dude, like I
110
said,
mil.
That's crazy.
how much?
With fees, 110 million.
$110 million
Just for one. Just for that painting. Just for
just
that
for
one
that
painting.
painting. And that painting, like,
That's
like,
crazy.
I actually love that painting. I love it. Fun thing about that painting is I'm a big Jay-Z and Beyonce fan. And
Oh, yeah.
and was it that one or something like that? But it was it was the skull because it's a picture of Jay-Z and Beyonce and the movie or and the video Ape Poop. I won't say the real name of it. It's ape
Got it.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the Louvre in the video for that, they're standing in front of the Mona Lisa in the actual background. But there's an artist called Nick Styles who did a painting of Jay-Z and Beyonce with the skull painting in the background. And I have it. It's in storage now, man. I wish that I can show y'all. But man, it's this big old painting with the actual painting of the skull in the background with Jay-Z and Beyonce sitting in front of it. And man, that skull painting, the skull painting is the reason why I got it. Jay-Z and B, I love them, yeah. But the reason that I actually got that thing was for that painting because I was like, I'll never be able to purchase a skull painting, but I might as well get something that has the skull painting on it that I like.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna be able to get a Basquiat painting. Like, come on now, let's be for real. Little old Tommie, Popalicious Popheads. Boy, I am gonna have to make a whole bunch of videos go really viral for me to be up in that type of tax bracket to get a
Right.
Basquiat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah, I went to the Louvre. Jess and I went to Paris when I first moved to Oklahoma, and we went to the Louvre, and that's a gigantic. Like we didn't even see all of it because it's so massive. But I do have to say, the Mona Lisa. So Lonely Island, they did a movie called Pop Star, and they did a
Yes.
song for that about Mona Lisa, the Mona Lisa painting being overrated. And I have to say, when I saw it in person, because like you think
Yeah.
it's like a massive, you think it's like this
no,
humongous painting.
it's
So
No, you
small.
can barely even see it. So like we were walking through these huge like
I mean that
hallways of the Louvre, and then we look in this one room, and there's all these people with like camera phone. They're like taking pictures over at this thing. So Jess and I go over there, and we're like, what? We're like, that's the Mona Lisa, and it's like literally like almost like an 8x10. Almost, that's what it reminded me of. But you can we had to sneak our way up to the side to even see it, because it's when people's hands are in the way, you can't even see it. So it is fun. I mean, it was cool because it's like the actual Mona Lisa, but when you see it in person, you're like, the heck? Because then the other paintings in there, they're gigantic. Like there's some that take up an entire wall. And they were doing the exhibit when we were there for, what's that artist's name? He's a big Renaissance artist. He did
like Michelangelo?
Coldplay. He
Leonardo?
did the Coldplay album cover for Viva
Rembrandt,
La
maybe.
Vida. With the captain of the ship coming in to over the ocean. But they had that painting, like the actual painting there.
Okay, Eugene Delacroix. Eugene Delacroix.
Yeah. So they had the Delacroix exhibit, which was really cool to see. But yeah, the Louvre is gigantic, and like there's statues and there's paintings that are their size of like 2 walls combined. Like it's insane that people could even do that back then. So yeah, it is cool.
I would love to check that out.
Yeah. And I guess the director of Basquiat, it seems like he was an artist before he got into film. He was like a neo-expressionist artist, painter. And then if you look at his movies he's directed, because he hasn't done a lot, he's done movies that focus on art, like famous artists. Like he did that one, and then he did At Eternity's Gate about Da Vinci, where Willem Dafoe got an Oscar nomination. But so I mean, he loves art, and and then I also just read a fact about the artwork for the movie. I guess the estate wouldn't let him use the actual paintings in the movie, so he repainted replicas, the director, all by himself to use in the. So he like redid paintings for like Basquiat paintings on his own to use in the movie because the estate wouldn't give him the rights to him or whatever.
Well,
so
I
that's
totally
pretty nuts.
understand that, man.
Yeah.
Because even if I had like one of them, because I'm pretty sure there are people out there who may have a couple of them in their collection, and some like museums may have a few of them in their collection also, and like if they're not willing to like lend their product out, then there would be no way me being like a private collector being like, okay, well, you can have mine and you can put mine in the movie and show that it's authentic. No, you better come up with something different, because mine's gonna stay nice and safe where it's at. Because if I move it somewhere, I'm probably gonna have to run an insurance claim off of or something like that.
Right.
So you don't really want to do that. So I totally get that for real.
Can we also just say what an epic cast that movie had?
Right.
Man, the
Jeffrey
cast
Wright,
and the
Benicio del
soundtrack,
Toro.
bro. The soundtrack, man. Check out the soundtrack, dog. The
Christopher
soundtrack
Walken,
awesome.
Gary
That's
Oldman,
amazing.
Willem Dafoe, Dennis Hopper, Parker Posey, Courtney Love.
That's great.
Absolutely insane.
On and on and
Definitely
on.
gonna check that out for sure. Definitely gonna check that out.
Never seen it?
No, I'll have to check it out. Yeah,
dude,
it's a hard one. It's on the it's part of the Criterion collection. But
it's on HBO Max.
I think it is. It's on either that or Prime, I think. But yeah, I know for sure it's part of the Criterion collection, so it made its mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, hold on a second. It's
on the watch list, and it's on it. Yeah, you're right. It's on HBO Max right now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's on Max. Yeah.
So perfect. Yeah, just so everybody that's listening now on the letterbox, I'm going to be putting in this list together and actually highlighting where it is. Also on Instagram, I'm going to post, as here's the movies we talked about. Here's where you can watch them for yourself, so you can make sure that you catch up on all these films that Tom is dropping. Very cool, man. All right, what you got next?
All right, what I got next is this movie right here, man, is honestly one of my favorite movies. Like just one of my favorite movies. Not because it's a movie featuring African Americans or whatever. No, this is just one of my favorite movies to watch, okay? And that movie is Malcolm X, directed by Spike Lee in 1992. And this movie depicts the life and from the beginning of Malcolm X's life, when it was Malcolm Little, to all the trials and tribulations going through his life, to him becoming Malcolm X, to him becoming not Malcolm X anymore, to moving on to another name, Malcolm L. Hodge El Shabazz, coming to that name and dropping the X from different issues that he had. But this movie is one of my favorite movies because, number one, you have to watch this movie for this actor's depiction of Malcolm X, which is Denzel Washington. Now, I'm sure a lot of y'all know who Denzel Washington is. I'm sure you've seen him in Equalizer, whatever slew of movies that you can pick to think about Denzel Washington. But this movie right here, I know he won that Oscar for Training Day. I know and I understand that. He won that Oscar for Training Day, okay? But you cannot sit here and tell me, when you sit down and watch this movie and you see the range that Denzel Washington had to go from, because this movie right here is 3 hours long, y'all. 3 hours, okay? Now, in the very beginning of the movie, it shows when his family was at their house and the Klan had pulled up, okay? And he wasn't even born yet. His mom, I think she was 8 or 9 months pregnant with Malcolm X. And the Klan had come to their house and planted this burning flag in their yard, in their house. This is at the very beginning of the movie, okay? Right after that, he's Malcolm Little. Bang. Denzel's Malcolm Little, okay? That's it. 2 hours plus minutes that Denzel is playing Malcolm X, okay? Now, he's going from young Malcolm X through when Malcolm X was like this militant, like didn't care, hustler, pimp who just didn't care about drug dealer, drug addict, took drugs, pimped women, was a womanizer himself, did anything he felt like doing. Him and his sidekick Shorty, who was played by Spike Lee in the movie. Okay, now when these two get together, man, in Harlem, New York, is where they hang out at. They're just out in Harlem, just doing all types of foods. I mean, just doing all types of robberies, home robberies, going up in people's houses and stuff like that, taking that stuff and stuff like, I mean, just, and then just taking that and just doing drugs. And back in the day, they were womanizing with white women. And we all know how much of a No, that was back in the day, and they were just putting it up in people's face with these zoot suits and everything like that, and just living in Harlem, just acting like they're just kings of the world doing this stuff. And ultimately, man, when they're sitting here doing all this stuff, they're sitting here, like I said, they're robbing people, they're they're stealing, they're just doing all this, they're doing drugs, they're just doing like, and this is going on for a long time that they're doing it. This ain't just for like a few weeks. This is going on for a long time that this is going on. So Malcolm X and his crew, it's a little crew of them. It's Malcolm X, Shorty, his friend, and their two girlfriends. And their two girlfriends happen to be Caucasians. I don't remember their names offhand, but their two girlfriends, man, they're riding shotgun with them through it all, through everything that they're doing, through all the robberies, and actually being accomplices through these things, through these robberies and stuff like that. They're like pulling in money, but we all know when you're out there living that type of life and you're not acting right, one or two things is gonna happen. You're either gonna wind up dead somewhere, or your little behind gonna wind up in somebody's prison or somebody's jail. Even back in the day, it was like that. So even back in the day to today, if you doing the most like they was doing, just like if you was doing that stuff now, if you were out there robbing and stealing from people and breaking into people's homes and stealing people's stuff in their house, and they see you and stuff like that, and they say, "Oh yeah, he did it. She was with him. Yeah, he walked in the door too," and they can point you out. Come on now. Come on now. Don't you think that somebody's gonna say something about you, and at some point you're gonna wind up in somebody's jail? But hey, they must not have thought that. So they just kept on doing their thing, right? So ultimately, when they was doing their thing, ultimately what happened? Got busted. And when they got busted, Malcolm X got sent to prison. Okay? Malcolm Little got sent to prison, not Malcolm X, because he wasn't Malcolm X then. He was Malcolm Little when he got sent to prison, okay? And when he got sent to prison, that was when he really started catching some hell in his little life. You know what I'm saying? Because he was little youngster with a whole bunch of attitude going into grown man prison, okay? And you just ain't gonna walk up in the grown man prison and if you're just this little jitterbug thinking you're just gonna come in here and change up anything, because you are dealing with grown folks who've been dealing life longer than you've been alive. So you might want to fall in line instead of you coming up in prison trying to act like you are running this ship when you don't know anything about what's going on this ship. You need to fall in line and just ride this thing out because you don't know what's going on. And he got shown a few times when he was in prison that he was not all that. Them prison guards and stuff like that, oh, they had a whole bunch of attitude to give old Malcolm X when he was in that prison. Now, I can't tell you how many times he was put up in the little solitary confinement thing in the movie. I can't tell you how many times he was put in that little solitary thing. Okay? In the movie. It had to be more than like 3 times in the movie. So can you imagine how many times he was thrown with that mouth that Malcolm X had? Because in the movie, you know, he just didn't do it once or twice and then he started to act right.
Right.
With all them years that he's had up in somebody's prison. He wasn't in prison for all that long, and it just, all right, man, you know what? It took me twice, and I'm going to act right. I done learned my lesson. No, it was not like that for him. And you can see, and the movie illustrates that so well because it shows the struggle that that Malcolm, it shows the struggle that Malcolm Little had to go through. It shows everything. And Spike Lee shows this thing so beautifully. It shows you every single thing that Malcolm X went through in prison. And that whole prison life part, man, hey, I don't want nothing to do with prison. Prison has always scared me. You know what I'm saying? And when I see movies like that and stuff like that, that makes me not want to go prison even more so, because prison, no one should have to go through that. You know what I'm saying? No one should have to be in prison to be locked up for the rest of their life. But you know, you do stuff to make yourself get locked up. I mean, hey, you do stuff to make yourself get locked up. But man,
Yeah.
this dude, he wasn't just locked up. He took on some mistreatment when he was locked up in prison. He was pretty much, when them guards would get a hold of him, they were letting him get beat up. He was getting beat up by the guards, especially when he was in solitary. They was beating his butt up, putting him in solitary, complete isolation. No window, just in a little box. Just him, and that's it. Then open the little sliding door, look in the little sliding door at him. He would see the little light. He would start screaming or whatever, and he wasn't even talking screaming. It wasn't even something audible. He would just be it was almost like a guttural scream when that sliding door would open, and the guard would open it and then close it back up, and he would close that door back up, and then you would hear, and you would hear Malcolm Little scream. I mean, just the scream that Denzel depicted. Like, if that's what it sounded like for Denzel to do that, if Denzel did that, and if that's what it sounded like when he did, how did Malcolm Little sound when he actually was going through that, through that moment right there? And I'm sure that moment was not the only singular moment for something like that to happen. I'm sure he was up with that mouth that he had back when he was younger, before he got with the Nation of Islam and started to calm down and started to learn some things about being in jail, when he was trying to buck the system and do what he wanted to do and things like that. He was really having a hard time. And I know he got tired, and I know he got tired of going into that thing. Anybody would get tired of being up in there. Anybody would do that. And man, when he finally got tired, y'all, when he finally got tired, it was another inmate in there. But he was a Muslim, an older Muslim that Malcolm X got with. That he tried to teach younger Malcolm some things. But Brother Malcolm in the beginning was not he didn't want to listen to what the older guy had to say to him. It's pretty typical, y'all. Come on now, y'all know. We are some older folks. I don't know about Josh, man. Josh is like, looking like
Josh is a young
in his
pup.
20s and stuff like that. We got great grays and stuff like that. Josh is like 21 or something like that.
The kids that I teach, they said the other day, because I was telling them about, as you get older, you got to stay positive and stuff. Life's going to throw stuff at you. I was like, I'm about to turn 40 in a couple years, and their heads exploded. They were like, what? You're like, no, you're not. But that's funny you say that. I do have my beard right here. I have permanent grays now, so it's all
there
good.
you go.
Yeah, man. But as I go on, yeah, man. But when Malcolm started to like learn that from his younger time, from when he was Malcolm Little, from when he started to listen to what this Muslim, who didn't come at him with anything, he wasn't trying to gain anything from Malcolm Little. He was trying to help him because he saw like the pain and the frustration and all of the emotion that Malcolm Little was going through, and like he had a way that could help him if he would receive what he was willing to offer. Only if you were, hey, if you listen, I'm offering. If you listen, I can give you the information, but it's up to you if you want to take the information and run with it. You know what I'm saying? I give you the information and it can go one end right out the other, or you can take the information, receive it, take what you want, leave the rest. You know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, it's funny watching how Malcolm, like, it was hard for Malcolm to bend his knees and even pray. Like, the man never prayed, never in his life. All the hell that this man done did, and his father was a preacher, and the man never prayed in his life. I, that don't strike me like a grown man never praying. Like, can you imagine like wow, man, like you never like felt connected to anything, like to nothing, like, but I guess some people do. Some people do. I'm not casting any aspersions or anything like that, nothing like that. But when the Muslim was trying to like introduce him to the Nation of Islam and introduce him to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, like Malcolm, he was listening to it, but this had to come with him in stages. Like, things with him had to be almost spoon-fed like a baby. Almost, you couldn't just like, just cram it down his throat and he's gonna be receptive.
He's too strong-willed.
Yeah.
Right? He's too strong. Yeah, he's too strong. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like he had to be like broken down, because when you get to a point when you're locked up in somebody's prison and they take you butt naked and throw you in this room and spray you down with cold water in this hose and stuff like that, at some point somebody's gonna break. I don't care who you are. Somebody's gonna break at some point. If you're going through that type of treatment and punishment on a consistent basis, something like that within you is going to break at some point in time. So that was just unfortunate to see. But that was unfortunate to see in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I picked this movie. Was like, this movie is so powerful that it moves you to like, it's like, damn, man, this really happened to Brother Malcolm, man. He like legit had to go through this. And like with all of the other people that I've mentioned, like they've all have gone through like so many different and tragic things, man. From everybody has gone through something. You know what I'm saying? And with Malcolm X here, man, going through everything through his life, and then he got with the Nation, and when he finally was able to like bend his knees when he was in prison, I think that was a real pivotal moment for him, because that was when he was actually able to like fully engage himself and give himself to the Nation of Islam and receive the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And that was something that I think that he was pretty much craving for his whole life. That was pretty much the main thing I think that he was looking for that even with his own father, was that type of teaching that he got from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It was that, I don't think it wasn't so much as being faith-based. It was, I can't put my finger on what the difference may be, but something with Christianity just did not click with Malcolm, that Islam clicked with Malcolm. And whatever that it was that didn't click with Christianity, that Islam did click with them, hey, that made him like just run with the teachings of the Nation of Islam. And man, he was vigorous out there. He was like out there, out there preaching what the nation was talking about, preaching what Muhammad was talking about, preaching to Islam. I mean, he was just thick into it. And it was great watching how Spike Lee took you from him from the beginning, when he was like so thick into it and vibrant and into it, to where almost what happened with Dr. Martin Luther King happened with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The FBI had started tapping into the Nation of Islam, because they were like, you know what? This organization right here, they are starting to get too powerful. Muhammad, his people, is starting to be too many of these people. They're causing too many problems. We have to do something about this now. There is something going on. We have to calm this down. And there was no way that they were going to calm whatever was going down. The ball was already going. This movement was already moving with the Nation of Islam. So when the actual people started to try to stop it, it was like a powder keg. It was like you put too much pressure on it. Pressure gonna make one or two things, y'all. And you know what I'm gonna say one of them is. One of them is pressure, and the other one is a diamond. And this one right here did not create no diamonds. This one just completely blew up, is what happened. This pressure blew up, okay? And then, man, when you had Malcolm start to look at the nation, when he heard these things about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and heard that he had slept with these women, he had bore these children with all these different women. It wasn't a one woman thing. It was a multiple woman thing. And after everything that he took the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to be teaching us, he was sitting here looking at him like, yo, you over here teaching us this stuff, but you around here, sleeping with these women and having children. And it's not like something that's speculation. You know what I'm saying? It's on tape. You know what I'm saying? They were playing this stuff. They were letting them hear it. Letting people hear it, what was going on. So like, we're not making this up. You know what I'm saying? Just listen to the tape. And you cannot deny somebody that you done listened to 50 bazillion times in all types of speeches. You can't deny what they sound like when you hear them on tape. So when he learned about that situation with him, that kind of fractured his whole look at everything that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught him. It fractured everything that taught him. And at that moment, he felt like Denzel's character, Malcolm X, his character, because Muhammad was played by Al Freeman, great actor. Al Freeman, check his work out. That man is a great actor. And with that, when Malcolm X was when he realized what was going on and everything, he decided to do his own pilgrimage to Mecca after he realized, you know, everything what was going on with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam at that time. He was like, I need to do my own search to find out what I need to know about my faith practice and not place my whole entire faith practice in this man or in a man. So I have to go out there and do my own research and see who it is that I need to follow and not just follow somebody blindly because somebody said, oh, you need to follow this man because he is the preacher of this or he is the minister of that or whatever. You need to do your own research and understand what you're getting into prior to getting into it, instead of getting sucked into what a man can do. Because if you get sucked into what a man can do, probably 10 times out of 10, at some point you're probably gonna get disappointed. So don't get wrapped up in the man. You know what I'm saying? Get wrapped up in whatever it is you need to get wrapped up in. Don't get wrapped up in the man. And when Malcolm X went to Mecca on that trip, that's when his whole mind frame changed. Because prior to that, if you remember, he didn't want to have anything to do, nothing to do with any Caucasian people. He didn't want to have nothing to do with any Caucasian people. He was at a student rally one time, and a girl said at a college, she said, what can we do to help the movement? And you know what he told her? Nothing. Nothing is what he told her. This is somebody who want to help you, like legit wants to help you. And because you had this teaching that no Caucasian or no nothing is to be trusted or anything like that, never, ever, ever, you cannot help us. So can you imagine how many people got what's the word that I'm looking for? Just like how how can you go from like wanting to help somebody that you clearly see needs help, but they sitting there like slapping your hand like, nah, I don't need your help. Are you kidding me? You better take my help. Are you kidding me? But okay, anyway, but whatever. And ultimately, when Malcolm X went to Mecca and they were doing that prayer and stuff like that, he looked to his right, he looked to his left, he looked to the front, he looked to the back. Who was he praying right next to? Praying to Muhammad, praying to God, praying God. Who is he sitting there praying right next to? White people. Caucasian people, y'all. Look at the movie, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at the movie. It's white people with him. And that's one of the things that changed him right then. I mean, right then. That's one of the things that changed his mindset, that like, you know what? I was being taught this all wrong for all of this time. Like for real. I was for real being taught like, no, you can't help me to me praying. Like praying is powerful, y'all. And when you praying together, it's even more powerful. And when you praying the exact same prayer to the exact same God, you cannot tell me that you can sit here and hate this man and you sitting here praying to the same God and the same prayer. I don't care what you say. Over time, if you come in here hating me, if you hate me, Sprang, and we praying to the same God and we praying the same prayer, if Josh, if we praying to the same God and we praying to the same prayer and stuff like that, man, if we doing that 10 years, we gonna be buddies. We gonna be hanging out like we are doing today. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna, it is not gonna happen like that. It's gonna happen like that because that's just natural, man. You ain't gonna be at somebody's side doing something like that powerful and not feel that connection. You know what I'm saying? So when that whole mind shift changed with him, that this isn't just about just black people. This is about people. When he saw all these people who was connected to Islam, not the nation of Islam, not the nation, but Islam. And when he saw these things, and this was when he had to leave his wife, Betty Shabazz, at home, and they were getting death threats. Like, things weren't going good for Malcolm back in these times, okay? These times, Malcolm was constantly getting death threats. His family was constantly getting death threats. You know what I'm saying? He had to have guns at the home. When he was home or wasn't home, they would constantly be calling their home, doing prank calls and stuff like that. Can you imagine in the 60s and stuff like that? Like, today, all we got to do is swipe and hit block and whatever. And we don't got to worry about no prank calls and no nothing like that. But back in the day in the 60s and stuff, can you imagine having to hear that damn phone ring all the time? And you already know who it is calling you in the middle of the night. Somebody calling you in the middle of the night, and normally anytime I heard hasn't been for anything good. You know, so somebody's calling you, you already know what it is. It's somebody calling you for drama or something bad happened to your husband, one or the other. And most of the time is what Betty Shabazz got. And she has to be like one of the most strongest women. Like, dude, you were taking care of the home, and your husband literally, like, even when he was with like the actual Nation of Islam, he was always gone because he was always doing speeches here and there and everywhere. And now when he stepped away from the Nation of Islam, he's making this pilgrimage to Mecca, and I'm doing that. It's like, man, he's gone now too. So he's gone and doing that, and she's still home, you know what I'm saying, with the kids, maintaining the home and making sure things are in order in the home. And I'm glad they had Angela Bassett play her, man, because Angela Bassett, man, she is such a strong character, such a strong actress, man, strong actor, that, man, hey, you put Angela Bassett in the role, hey,
Yeah.
it's a home
Home
run,
run.
chef's
Yeah.
kiss, whatever you want to say about it. You know, Angela's gonna
Absolutely.
kill it. So what
Yeah.
she did, Betty Shabazz, you know what come on now, man. Angela Bassett, Betty Shabazz, what more can I say about that, right?
Yep.
When she was holding down the fort and everything, when Brother Malcolm was doing his thing, it was a beautiful thing. And then when he came back, how she was right by his side. You know what I'm saying? Through it all. Through it all, through him being gone, through them being getting wiretapped, to them being crank called all the time. She had to be at home alone listening to these things, when I'm sure she was scared to death because she had children to deal with. You got people on the phone saying some outlandish things that a woman home alone does not want to hear about. And she's hearing this on a consistent, constant basis, daily. You know what I'm saying? She's bombarded with this every day. So I I don't know how mentally she was able to absorb that whole thing, because she took it all on. Brother Malcolm sometimes had him a break, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? When he was going on these trips, trying to build, when he was in the Nation, trying to build that group, and then when he left the Nation, trying to build his own group and stuff like that, he was still gone, and she was still at home. What was she doing? Taking care of the home, taking care of everybody, doing what she needed to do. And she did an outstanding job showing us just what it actually took for just just a human just to hold out the fort during that time. And taking on everything she had to take on and different things like that, while having to support her husband, who had his own vision on what he wanted to do with his own spiritual practice now. That was totally separate from the spiritual practice that they had met and married with. And now this practice and path that they're actually wanting to go on. So that's a strong person to back you up like that. Because some people will be like, you know what? My faith practice is already cemented. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I have to follow you someplace. So Angela Bassett like showed how Betty Shabazz had her husband's back through it all. And it was just a beautiful thing to see. And it was also beautiful to see how Malcolm X actually grew through all of that madness that man has been through in all of his life, and the hell that was given to him. He was given a lot of hell, but he gave just as much hell as he was given. And I don't know if that was because maybe he was molded like that and that's all he knew. And that was the monster, Frankenstein created the monster, or which one do you want to say? Something like that. He did a lot, man. He did a lot. Like in his younger years, he did a lot of violence. He did a lot of bad things, but when he got older, I really think he really really made up for karma has a way of balancing, and I think karma helped him balance, because when it became a point to where he and Dr. Martin Luther King could be in a room together and they could take a picture together with the both of them smiling. Like, really, with how they were so adversarial for so long. Brother Malcolm, he used to say, y'all Google this, look up some of these speeches that Brother Malcolm used to say about Brother Malcolm used to say about Martin Luther King. They were not nothing nice. He wasn't giving Martin Luther King brownie points for what he was doing. They had the same destination, but they had totally different paths on how to get there.
Yeah.
So that just showed a beautiful thing about that, and it was just shot beautifully. Spike Lee did so beautiful. I love the way how at the very end, how it shows how Malcolm changed, and it showed at the very end that picture of Malcolm X, man, just like, being strong, powerful Malcolm X with Denzel standing sitting there like that. Boy, that's another movie poster that I think that I want to get. I don't know if I'll be able to meet Denzel one day, but that X poster with Denzel posing in front of it, like
Yeah,
doing
that's
the
an
Malcolm
awesome
X
poster.
pose, like that would really be a cool poster to have for the collection. And man, when the movie wrapped up, when Spike Lee wrapped that up with the music and everything, and just seeing Brother Malcolm and just a segue, talking about how he passed and different things like that, and just seeing how happy he was and not as hateful as what was when he was with the nation, and how his heart had softened when he got out of the Nation of Islam and just started following Islam in itself. And yeah, that was
That's good, man.
yeah, that's that's that.
That's awesome, man. Josh, have you seen Malcolm X?
Yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, I've seen most of Spike Lee's resume, but yeah, It's one of his best ones for sure. I really like Black
Sure, one of
Klansman.
ours.
He Got Game. That's one of my favorite ones. But Malcolm X is just such a kind of, along with 12 Years a Slave, like it's just such an important time in history.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good. Yeah, actually, I almost I was in Chicago visiting a buddy who is a photographer for the White Sox, and Spike Lee was actually at the game that I was at. He was down in like the front row, and my buddy was taking pictures down there, and he sent me a picture, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because I was in the stands, and he was in town filming Chirac at the time, and the Yankees were playing the White Sox, so he was, you know how diehard of a New York fan he is,
Yeah.
so. He was at the game, but it was pretty. I wish I would have got to meet him, but yeah, he's, you know, I know he doesn't always hit a home run with people, but you gotta love the drive. He's been
Yeah.
around for so long, and you would think he would be like one of the top directors as far as like money and all that stuff, but that's not the main focus. Like he worries about nothing, basically. Like he worries about making what he wants to make, doing it for Malcolm X. He had to give a lot of his salary to make the movie happen because his movies up to that point had not made a ton of money. I think they made like combined like 100 million, and he was asking for 30 million to make it. And Warner Brothers didn't. They said, we can't take that risk because your movies haven't grossed a lot of money. So like Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, even Denzel for the movie, like they all threw in their own money just to make it work. And then when Warner Brothers heard how good the early reviews were and how the performances were getting praised, they threw in a little bit more for post production. But yeah, it just goes to show you the power of what that film was supposed to represent, and people wanted
Yeah.
to have it not only in film history but African American culture and all that stuff. So it's pretty awesome. And I was gonna say earlier before I got kicked out, Denzel, he was nominated for an Oscar, but it was very controversial that he lost that year, because he lost out to Al Pacino for Scent of a Woman. And not saying that it's a bad performance at all, but
I'm not either.
yeah,
I'm not there, but come
but
on,
like,
baby.
yeah, you can't. Well, I mean, if that would have happened today, I mean, like Al Pacino would probably be, and not that it'd be his fault, but he'd be like canceled out because people would be like in an uproar, which rightfully so. I mean, you can't tell me that Malcolm
It's
X is like not as
even just
important
the
of
subject matter.
well, and
right?
like I mean, Sense of
The
a Woman's a
importance of it.
good movie and it's a good performance, but Al Pacino has way more movies that he's better in than that. Like he's a
Do you
blind.
know the? Do you, bruh? Come on now. Do you know how somebody has to go into themselves to pull off? Like
Yeah,
I'm playing a whole other character that ain't no, like every actor plays somebody else. That's why they're called actors. But to damn near pinpoint Malcolm X, if you listen to Malcolm X and the way he sounds, and you listen to Denzel and the way he was speaking at during the speeches and during the whole time he was Malcolm, if you listen, I mean, he almost has the dialect pinpoint.
yeah,
He almost has the
Yeah.
look and the mannerisms and the gestures pinpointed. When he stood in front of in front of the window with the gun, pinpoint.
yeah. That
You
was
know what I'm
from
saying?
Time
That's a
Magazine.
pinpoint
That was
Malcolm.
that picture
Yeah,
from.
yeah, that's pinpoint picture.
Yeah,
That everybody know that. Everybody know that pose. Everybody know. Nail. You know what I'm saying? And you mean
Yeah.
to tell me that Denzel Washington shouldn't have gotten the Oscar that year?
yeah,
Come on now, that's highway robbery. I
yeah.
don't care what anybody said. Al Pacino, bruh, you are my dog. I love you, Al. Hey, Al,
Sure.
you and me, bro. We are
Hoo-ah,
good.
we got controversy.
We are we are good, baby. We are good. But I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
over Denzel and Malcolm X, ain't no way.
Well,
in the
it's
world.
also
Sure.
very controversial in Oscar history because it only got 2 nominations total, and the other one was for writing or something. But like Spike Lee he got all this praise from Hollywood for, putting that movie together and the cast that he got and everything, and he didn't even get Best Director nominated. So it's that's been, if you watch, I was reading some stuff on reviews that people had left in the past when it came out, and they still say it's like, to this day, it's a travesty that, like, not only did Denzel not win the Oscar, but also Spike Lee didn't even get like a nomination for Best Director. So yeah,
Yeah.
I know the Oscars, they don't always get it right. They're usually about 60% right, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it
Well,
sucks.
this is it's one that I have not watched in my years, and so I've got to. It's gonna happen
it's great.
this year. I
It's
gotta
long,
watch
but
it.
yeah,
You have
gotta watch
never
it.
watched Malcolm X, my brother.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Oh,
I
you
know.
gonna love
I
this.
know.
Hey,
Yeah.
get you some popcorn. Get Christian next to you.
Get some
Yeah.
beverages.
It's gonna be good.
Yes.
Yeah. It's epic. It's epic. And I know, and I've always wanted to, and it just never like hit. So it's on Hulu right now.
Nice.
So
I tell you what.
check it out this month.
Please do me this one favor. Please do me this one favor. Please do me this one favor.
I got you.
If not that night, if it's not that night, the next day, please call me and
I
tell
got
me
you.
what you think about that.
Yeah.
He'll
Absolutely.
probably put it on
Absolutely.
his letterbox too.
I don't
Yeah,
want to hear nothing from no letterbox. I want to hear voice.
You want to hear from my voice. I got you.
Tommie's like, I got your letterbox right here, buddy.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get to your number 5, and then we'll do honorable mentions after that. What you got? Number 5.
My number 5 would be probably my favorite Marvel hero movie, and I know you probably know what I'm talking about. Both of you, is going to be the Black Panther.
Yes.
I had to go with my boy Chadwick Boseman. I had to go with that cast. I mean the cast. I mean Letitia, right? I mean, come on now. What's my man name? Tillmonger.
Ryan
Michael B.
Coogler.
Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
yeah.
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah.
Angela Bassett, Queen Ramonda. I mean, just the cast for the Black Panther and just the story of the Black Panther. Like, I mean, just them having their own continent in Africa that nobody know about. And it's so vibrant, and like they do all these things with science and math, and there's all these geniuses and the culture and just the advancements that's going on there that they like leak out to the world, that they're like, okay, we'll just give y'all all this much, but we'll just keep everything else for us. We'll keep us safe. We'll make sure we're safe and everything like that. And the role of the Black Panther just being that he protects everybody, everywhere, like not like a superhero, but he is a superhero. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he is like you expect Batman and Superman and all these other superheroes to get out here and that. You have the Black Panther going over there to, what was that? Japan over there when he flipped over the car and stuff like that. Man, when they were doing all the fighting next to the ritual site and everything, when they were doing all that fighting, and that just seemed like I know it was like CGI and stuff like that, but like we all have imaginations, and when we watch these like superhero movies, man, it makes you feel like a kid again, man. Just about, man, because you're sitting here watching these things that, all right, we know good and well, can none of this happen? Ain't no heroes, ain't none of this. But we all have these big imaginations that, like, we still believe that, like, man, this is so cool to see, like, these superheroes doing these things, and they're facing these adversities, and in the end, they get the bad guy. And it's so great watching the Black Panther and what he had to go through, and what he had to go through was within his own family, y'all. The madness he had to go through started when he was, like, young. It started when he was in Compton, California. And I think it was his cousin that was living with him or something like that. Y'all correct me, or
A Killmonger?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his
dad's Killmonger's dad was the Black Panther's dad's
dad's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
brother. Yeah. All right.
And
So,
then the T'Chaka killed, I think that was his name, his dad's name.
yeah,
Killed his brother.
Right.
T'Chaka killed Killmonger's dad.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that was kind of what left him on his own.
Yeah. Yeah. So it had Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger, Angela Bassett. So you had all these people. And then you had Michael B. Jordan, this brother here, man. He was coming out with, like, some not good intentions. This brother was upset about what happened to his dad. And he was sure enough gonna get his pound of flesh. If he didn't get nothing else on this earth, he was gonna get his pound of flesh. But what? Who killed his dad again?
T'Chaka
did to his dad. And when he took himself over there to Wakanda and showed them people that, like, he was a rightful ancestor to the throne, and he actually made that challenge to T'Challa, y'all, I was nervous from jump. All that stuff I saw the Black Panther do, like, all up to that moment, I was like, you know what? Black Panther ain't nothing to be dealt with. And then you see what this angry, bitter young man is doing. And the thing that is driving him is anger. And if you have anger driving your emotions, you are bound to do anything. If that's what's driving you, if you are driven by your anger and your hatred for somebody, that can cause you to do any type of thing. And that's exactly what happened here. This brother wanted his vengeance, and he wanted to have his right to the throne. And I was worried about Chadwick T'Challa from the beginning, because the ferocity, the viciousness. I mean, Killmonger just did not care. He just wanted that throne, and he was going to do whatever.
Well, yeah, he wanted the throne in order to use that power to then give power to people of color around the world. Like it was like there was this sense where the end goal was this kind of, but it was violent. It was violent in nature that was kind of like sent him on the bad path. But it was like it wasn't a bad idea to try and help people around the world. It was just his path toward it was to destroy the world in the process. So sorry, continue.
Right. Hey, not a problem, man. Hey, plug in away, my man Josh. You got anything, baby?
I mean, the big thing is it's still, of all the comic book movies we've ever had, it's the only one to ever get Best Picture nominated. So that's a pretty big deal. I know the soundtrack went like quadruple platinum or whatever with Kendrick.
Soundtrack,
Yeah.
bro.
But yeah, like piggybacking on what you said, I mean, The cast is perfect. I think another big thing to take away from Black Panther, he had already kind of established himself with some indie films, but we have
Ryan
the
Coogler.
Ryan Coogler, and him and Michael B just are tied at the hip, and I'm all here for everything they work on.
Definitely.
Creed, and I mean even like Fruitvale Station is such a awesome film.
That was a powerful movie.
Oh, it's so good. And now with this is perfect timing, and perfect that you're talking about Black Panther as one of your top 5. Sinners just set the record for most Oscar nominations in history, which is, 16. That's a lot. Almost every category, almost every single category.
Hey, look, if Sinners don't win something high, it's highway robbery.
Right. Yeah.
It's highway robbery. And I think I just might boycott the Oscars for the rest of my life.
Coogler,
Sinners don't win something. Come on now, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it'll win. There's a few that it should be a lock for, but yeah, you never know with the Oscars. But yeah, Coogler, what he's doing not only for African American cinema, just cinema in general. Like he is. I just watched an interview I just sent to Sprang yesterday on text. Ben Affleck was on a podcast with a couple of NBA guys that used to play, and he was talking about, they asked him about directing movies and all this stuff, and he was saying how like Ryan Coogler's kind of like done it the right way, but it's like also he's done it in a way that nobody else tried to do, as far as getting funding and making doing what you can with your resources. And he's inventive. He gets the best people to work on, whether it's cinematography or the soundtrack or the score. And then obviously him and Michael B were meant to be together, which is great. But yeah, Black Panther, tremendous film. I definitely put it in my top 5 for the Marvel universe for sure. It's pretty high up there. And then just comic book movies in general, and just movies in general. It's a fantastic film. It's everyone who worked on it, all around, it's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good stuff online around the composer too, who's a Swedish guy.
Ludwig.
Ludwig Göransson.
He's one of my favorites.
But he loves Ryan Coogler. He worked on Black Panther. I've seen how he created that score and like what they came up with, and how he did all the drums, the talking drums, and then the 808s, and then stacked the trumpets on top. It's just like seeing him work is amazing.
For sure.
And then the fact that he's like on set for weeks on end for Sinners, it's like I've not heard of any other score composer ever even going to set. Right?
Yeah.
I've only heard about them seeing the dailies, right? They'll see the dailies, or they'll see the finished product, and they'll have an idea, and then they time it to the finished product. But he's like wanting to engage with the culture in a real way and see what's really happening, and working with those actors so that they can perform. Like he's more than a composer. He is a partner, a collaborative partner in that process. And it's just like, that's what makes the movie so much more impactful. Sinners is what I'm speaking to, but even like you can see it all the way back to Black Panther. And I think
something
for me,
like that shows attention to detail though.
Yeah.
Right. And care for not just presenting a good score, but an authentic score.
Yeah.
I think that's what blew me away about Black Panther, was the score felt so true to Africa. And that scene, I think I've talked about it on the podcast before with the kids, is that scene when they first crown T'Challa as the Black Panther, and they do that ceremony, and M'Baku challenges him, and then he wins. But seeing all the different styles of the tribes, and how each tribe had their own vibe, their own kind of costume theme, that each had their own way of carrying themselves, but it all felt so African. And it was just like a celebration of African culture in a way that I had never seen on screen before. And proud African culture. I think sometimes you've seen some of those styles and those looks, but it's usually when, in my experience, when white people are going to Africa and seeing the tribes there that are not as well advanced as we are, as the white people going. In this one, it's like, no, they're the ones in power. They're the ones empowered by the technology, empowered by their wisdom, and it's like, it's beautiful and powerful to see them in all of their Africanness on screen. And just like, I mean, I was in tears just from seeing that on screen visually, not even all the other pieces. It was just like, this is just so amazing, such a celebration of
Well, even down
African
to
culture.
like the costume design and the I'm not for sure on the
Right, yeah.
cinematography. I think it's the same one he's always used. But yeah, he has different like ethnicities that work on different parts of the movie. And he he really strives for not only Black African American culture, but other cultures in general. And you can just see it in the final product. Like everybody has their chance to flush out all of their culture history into one film or multiple films if they work with Coogler, which it sounds like he keeps regular people coming back. So yeah, it's just
Mm-hmm.
awesome, and it's really awesome that Marvel's been doing that for a while, where they just give everybody a shot, and the fact that they took a character who wasn't super well known, and they said, "Here,
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, you take this over. We're gonna give you freedom to kind of do whatever you want because we trust in you." And that's what he gave them, and it paid off, and they got a sequel, and I think both combined films have made close to 2 billion at the box office, I mean, even Wakanda Forever without Chadwick, um they were still able to make almost like 800 million at the box office with that one. So it just goes to
100
show
million?
you, yeah, just goes to show you, Coogler didn't let that affect him, because I know that was like probably super hard when you lose your star person like
Yes.
so young too.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's a really awesome testament that Chadwick left behind. Like he did not no one really knew he was sick, and he did these movies, just even like Infinity
Mm-hmm.
War. He's not in very long, but like he didn't let being super super ill um affect anything, and he was able to keep it under wraps and finish whatever he was working on. And now we have this
Yeah.
movie plus a bunch of his like Jackie Robinson 42
Oh,
and
yes.
Marshall Thurgood, like Mike, like
Yes.
he's played
Yeah.
a lot of like real life people too
Mhm.
in the
Yeah,
culture.
James Brown
Yeah,
and Get On
James
Up.
Brown,
Yes.
he's
I
phenomenal.
mean,
So I
just
mean, he's left
Wasn't he in a
behind an
lawyer
incredible.
movie too?
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan was in Just Mercy.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if it was
No,
Chadwick that was, I don't know which lawyer.
Chadwick. Well, I think if he was in. He wasn't like a main part, but anyway, he
I was going to
Okay.
mention,
Okay.
you mentioned the costume designer, Josh, but yeah, Ruth E. Carter did do Black
yeah.
Panther. She also did Sinners, and with Sinners nomination, she's now the most nominated Black woman in Oscar history.
Wow, it's amazing.
So,
Yeah, it's just so.
yeah, just
Well, and even the
powerful.
cinematographer, I think she's what race is she? She's
For Sinners,
I think she's like
yeah.
she's got a couple different races, but yeah, she's phenomenal. And so like, giving
Hmm.
people these opportunities when Hollywood, hasn't always been that way, and they still kind of don't give they don't just give these out to anybody. So Coogler is doing his thing and supplying it to other people in the industry. And you know, regardless of your skin color, like you get to show why you are part of film history. And I just think Black Panther is a huge staple, not only for Ryan Coogler's career, but for Chadwick, for fans of Black history, for film as a whole. I mean, it's going to stand the test of time as a important film. I wouldn't be shocked if that becomes one of the first Marvel movies to like be part of the Criterion Collection. Honestly, I could see that happening in like 5-6 years. just because of its importance on film and
That would be
everything.
nice.
I mean, yeah, it would probably be an epic Criterion release, so that'd be cool.
One of the things I think that hits me, and I'm kind of getting emotional a little bit, is that Martin Freeman's character, the white dude, I guess he's CIA, right? In those films, he's American in those films.
Yeah,
And he walks into Shuri's lab, and he's kind of walks into the space as if he is a person of worth and of power and of influence. Because every movie he's walked into, he has been, because he's been the white guy in power. And he walks into there, and Shuri puts him in his place so delicately, not delicately, so precisely, but not in a diminutive
right.
way, you know? And it's like this moment where he has to realize, oh, because she calls him Colonizer or something like that.
Yeah.
Be quiet, Colonizer,
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's just like this. He's like, yeah. Oh, wait, I'm not in charge
Mhm.
here. And I just remember watching that the first time and going, yes, the power is shifted. And there's a moment where he has to recognize he's not in a place of power in this space.
Right.
And then that I think that plays out into the way that I try to walk into the world too, is recognizing that I being someone who's white, and also I'm tall, I'm a man. I walk into spaces, and there's a certain level of air that I take up because of that. And I try to make sure that I'm not doing that on purpose, and that I'm always trying to make sure that I'm listening and not trying to take over the room just because I'm, you know, I don't want to ever think of myself as better than anybody else. Sometimes it happens by accident or whatever. And so that moment for me was an eye-opening moment for me, is
Yeah.
all I'm trying to say.
No, that's
It's like,
awesome.
okay, I have to be careful how I walk into a space, and recognize that if I walk in, I need to be open ears before I'm open mouth, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
a lot more
sorry.
of that needs to happen. I mean,
Yes.
that's pretty well, powerful, but like a lot of people they don't even realize that they're doing
Yes.
it. And a lot of people just don't honestly care, and that's the real problem. Is our world just doesn't, they don't care, especially, you know, if you're a white male, especially in like further south you go, that's present in all the time, and it's sad that we still have to have stuff like that. Like that's why I try to not look at the news, because I know there's going to be something bad, um
Yeah.
and it's not always dealing with race, but like a lot of it does deal with race, and it just is sad. And I hope, you know, one day we figure it out, and you know, get everybody on the same page, but highly unlikely that we can get the entire world. So um just the fact
Yeah.
that you, one person, you know, are president of that, that's big. So if we could just get everybody to realize those little things, it goes a long way. And then care about your fellow man and woman. So
Absolutely.
Starts with one.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Tommie. Thank you so much for giving us this 5. Are there any others that you just want to kind of run down? Any others that come to mind? As far as I've got a couple that I wanted to just mention as being
Do the right thing.
important for me.
yeah,
Do the right thing.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
Juice.
Yeah, I know
Juice.
that's a popular one.
Lady Sings the Blues.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Glory.
Oh man. Yeah.
Thought about Glory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Glory's definitely one of mine.
The Soldier Story. This isn't a movie, but a miniseries. But the miniseries is Roots.
Oh, yeah.
It's by Alex
Denzel.
Haley. You can find that online.
What was that? What was the last one you said? You said Alex Haley. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, Alex
Yeah,
Haley.
Roots.
Yeah, Alex Haley is about his. I want to say his grandfather's life. And what else would I think about? Boomerang is funny.
Mm. Yeah,
Look
little
for a
Eddie.
good comedy or Harlem Nights.
Mhm.
Coming
You
to
can go to Bad
America.
Boys. Yeah,
To
Coming to
America.
America, Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop, especially being in the
Yeah.
80s, Eddie Murphy, like
Mhm.
Eddie Murphy held his own in the 80s. I remember going
Yeah.
to the movie theater to see this movie, and like during the 80s, like you really didn't have a whole lot of black leading men in a comedy that are like people are like, yo, I'm going to see Beverly Hills Cop. And people was out there
Mhm.
buying tickets to go see Beverly Hills Cop back in the day. They weren't just waiting for it to come on cable. They was out there buying the tickets to see Beverly Hills Cop. So that one got to be up there too, Beverly Hills Cop for sure.
Yeah.
But
Cool, man.
but I don't know if y'all could think of anything. I don't want to like take up the whole time.
Well, yeah, like
Nothing like
Eddie
that.
Murphy's a really good one just because in general, I mean, 80s and 90s, I mean, he was in
Yeah, he
everything.
killed it.
I mean,
He's in everything.
he really honestly became, one of, I think in history today, even like he still is one of the highest grossing African American actors like of all time. And his comedy specials were fantastic. They still like Jess occasionally like will remember, something from like Raw or Delirious.
Oh
And we
yeah,
just like laugh so hard because he was just ahead of his time. And he also came out at a good time. And then I know he had a close relationship with Richard Pryor, which is cool. So they got to
yeah,
work. But like Trading Places, I mean, that movie it was a comedy, but like just look at what the movie was about. And you had, a perfect example of like the common white man, like Dan Aykroyd's character, and then Eddie Murphy,
Mhm.
is kind of a down on his luck, homeless guy, scammer. But like, I know it has mostly humor in it, but it's also representative of, especially that time period. Like in hindsight, what we should have picked up on. So that one's a good
Yeah.
one. There's been some important ones like True Story one, like Hidden Figures about NASA
yeah.
and the African American women who were the heads of all that in that movie. Um, even we just talked about on the zombie episode the other day, like Night of the Living Dead, like first African American like starring role in like especially like a horror movie.
Mainstream.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that one's awesome. That comes to mind. Even in the music live that we did, like Sister Act, like 1 and 2,
Oh
especially
yeah,
number 2 because of the heavy, you know,
yeah. With
inner
Lauren
city
Hill was
culture.
there.
Yeah, Lauryn Hill and just like the inner city kids and like that movie is a great sequel, but it's got great music. Lauryn Hill obviously is an icon in the genre and like R&B and stuff. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Those are just a couple that come to mind
So
right out of the gate.
just kind of funny comment on Sister Act 1 and 2. So Sister Act 1, it's she's working at a convent and she brings in secular music into the church and comments on it as being this is we could sing this also about God, right? That's the whole
Right.
that's the flip that she does. Sister Act 2 starts, she's back in the kind of the nightclub scene and she's singing all this her whole story using these cover songs. But then the rest of the soundtrack is majority is like actually church songs being done more just in a modern way. So it's just kind of interesting. Like I think Eyes on the Sparrow, that one beautiful piece where they're sitting at the piano and Lauryn Hill singing, that's beautiful. And then of course the Joyful Joyful at the end. It's like it's just kind of interesting. It kind of didn't do a rinse and repeat of the same as the first
Right.
movie.
Which
It
most
really took it
sequels
to a different
do.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I have 5 here, I think. Yes, 5 here, and I think one thing that's I'll comment on these is that I feel like these are integral to maybe a white person's understanding of what the Black culture goes through, or at least maybe identifying, where we mess up as white folk. And I think that's why I have them on here. So one is 13th, the documentary that Ava DuVernay did, actually really diving into the history of the importance of the 13th Amendment. It goes through a lot of the Jim Crow laws, and then it also goes into the war on drugs and how all of these were actually focused on trying to keep Black men from having power in the world. And so really powerful, really eye-opening. Black Klansman also comes to mind.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Just because really that's another Spike Lee movie, but very, very interesting dynamics there with Adam Driver and another Washington being in that film. Get Out also kind of showing the kind of the way that white culture wants to kind of like Sinners does. White culture wants to steal Black culture and own it and have it as something because they recognize it's cool and it's beautiful, but they don't want to give any ownership. They want to own it for themselves, and so that's what Get Out, powerful. And then two others that are kind of comedy, but Dear White People and Sorry to Bother You, both are kind of just
awesome.
kind of
Sorry to Bother You
just kind
really
of
good.
really kind of highlighting for us how do we hear other people and how do we assign based on the way that, like, especially Sorry to Bother You, we assign how someone is talking, we assign intelligence, we assign race, we assign all these things to just by hearing their voice, and it's like that's totally unfair. That's such an unfair thing to do. And so just as a white person, I need to be reminded of this, that just because someone talks a certain way doesn't mean they're less intelligent, and it doesn't mean that they're of a less value. Like like a couple, those are just some that came to mind for me, is like, I need these movies so that I can make sure that I'm not judging people by any of these reasons, and recognizing that what I say matters. Whether I think I'm doing something wrong or not, I need to know, am I doing something that's hurting someone else, even if it's by accident, and how can I correct that self in me? No matter if I think it did it on purpose or not, it doesn't matter. Am I affecting someone else? I need to put their needs above my own. So that's all I got to say about that.
Get Out and Sorry to Bother You both have Lakeith Stanfield in them too. So
yeah,
he is the key.
Man.
He's so good. Even I haven't finished the whole movie, but I even liked him. I know it didn't do very great, but the Haunted Mansion, the newer one.
Oh, yeah?
Like I just liked his character. I just thought his character was cool in that. So he's great.
He was in Selma.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been around for a while, I feel like, but he never gets, like, Sorry to Bother You was also great because he's like the lead actor. And he's by himself on like the cover of the movie. Like, that doesn't happen too often. Usually you have like most of the big people in the movie in there. But yeah, he, like, the fact that he is so good, but he also got to star in that movie was great. But yeah, he's a big part of Get Out as well. So I mean, he kicks off the film for us, and he's really good. But yeah, no,
and
good.
Says the title of the film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch more. I mentioned some earlier, with Chadwick,
Man,
like
there's
42,
so
like ones that have important, not just like because they're like biopics, but yeah, Gone with the Wind. Oh, Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks. Like, that had some controversy when it first came out, mainly because of the guy who starred in it. But like, it's become a cult classic and it's so funny, and it just the jokes that they do make they're just perfect. So yeah, that's another one.
And then we were kind of mentioning before, Tommie, Sidney Poitier.
Oh yeah.
But guess who's coming to dinner?
Yes. Yeah.
That's one I think that is.
Yeah, that man, and I would say him. I mean, there's been a lot of African Americans who've put their imprint on cinema and becoming icons. Denzel's obviously up there, but like, yeah, Sidney is. I mean, if you ask most, whatever race you are, if you ask most actors and actresses, like Sidney's early work, it was very inspirational.
Let me ask y'all something. What do y'all think about Morgan Freeman?
Oh man, he's the man. That's why
Yeah.
I like Glory so much, because like Glory, I mean Denzel and Morgan both got nominations, but like they were both also early in their careers. Like Denzel, I think it wasn't his first acting role ever, but it was one of his first like mainstream movies
Major
that he
acting
did.
roles,
Yeah, and he got an Oscar nom like right out of the gate. We got to watch that movie in one of my history classes when I was in high school, and it really like it was a very well done, great cast. But Morgan Freeman and Denzel are so good together in that. Like they're probably the best
Matthew
part of that
Broderick
movie.
did a really
Broderick's great
job
too, but like the two of them feeding off each other, Morgan and Denzel, like because you can tell they're on the same side, but they also don't like each other kind of too. And they
Malcolm
just
and
played,
Martin.
yeah, they played that so well. But yeah, Morgan Freeman's, I mean, he's another person who's just been in so many great Invincible. I played rugby, so like Invincible, where he plays Nelson Mandela in that. Great film, but also just very accurate and cool. Clint Eastwood, I think, directed that one.
Awesome, guys. Tommie, again, thank you so much for being on this week. This has been so great. It's been great to hear from your heart and how these movies have impacted you and hear the stories. And so for those of you that are listening, watching, make sure you take some time this month and pick out one of these films that we've talked about and have that be your way of paying homage and giving honor to the folks that are telling these stories, and remind ourselves of where we've come from, and so we don't go back. So be sure to check us out. We're going to have all Tommie's information in the description of this video.
Appreciate that.
And we're going to be posting all this stuff on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. So you're going to be everywhere, Tommie. Everybody's going to be seeing your face this week.
Awesome, man. So that smile, man, shine bright like a diamond, baby.
That's right. All right. Thanks guys so much, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, guys. Y'all take care now.
Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to jump over to our website, moviesthatmakeyoupodcast.com, to see all of our links. Follow us on Instagram so you never miss an episode, a live stream, or an interview. And until next time, keep watching movies.